Hi, I'm Neil Christensen, author of Dark White, and welcome to the newest sporadic installment of I'm Reading House of Leaves, so you don't have to. Today, we're covering Chapter 3. The theme of Chapter 3 is Why Navidson? Why Will Navidson? Why is all of this happening to him? Why is Will Navidson the only one to experience these oddities, these supernatural occurrences, these strange phenomena in this house? He wasn't the first person to live there. He bought it from someone. So how come it's just now that these things are starting to occur? The answer, as it turns out, is he's not. The house, as we learn, has a long history, a very long history, of causing distress to those who live in it. Alicia Rosenbaum, the realtor who sold the house to Navidson and his family, eventually reported that the house had, if we're going to believe this, approximately 0.37 residents or owners or occupants per year, which means ownership of the house turned over almost every 4 months since it was built. And they report that supposedly the house was built in 1720. That would be a lot of people living in the house. That said, there are pictures of the house in the supplemental materials, and the house does not look like it's almost 280 years old. The point is that the house has been causing distress to its owners long before Navidson and his family moved in. He's just the first one with a camera and a history of making documentaries and a penchant for storytelling. That is the why for Navidson. But there's a bigger why touched on too. Why are those connected to the house, or even the story of the house, affected the way they are? Johnny asks this right up front in the chapter. In his first footnote, he says, "It's a question I'm often asking myself these days." The short answer is that Lude woke him up at 3 a.m. and said, "Come over and see this dead guy's stuff." So is he pulled in just because he's the one that found the manuscript? Why do those pages pull him in? Why does he care so much to try to get this story out? He chalks it up to just being a sucker for abandoned stuff. But I personally get the feeling that as the story moves on, we're going to find that there's something more. We also learn right at the end of the chapter that Navidson had a very dysfunctional childhood. He and his brother Tom had an alcoholic father that would disappear for days or even weeks on end, reappear at random, show up, make amends for a couple days, and then become distant and disappear again. His mother apparently wasn't any better, as she just up and vanished on them one day. So his father, who eventually died of a massive heart attack, was drunk or absent most of his childhood. And then his mother just up and vanished. And it is suggested that Navidson then retreated to photography as an adult to try to create a sense of permanence in things. Although he personally felt as though everything was fleeting, that everything was temporary. And even the things he loved and wanted to hold on to were doomed to disappear. And that's why only Navidson could come in and capture the house and share it with the world in a way that would capture the world's imagination. This chapter didn't really progress the story a lot, although it did lay a lot of foundational elements and backstory for our characters. There were no spooky new insights, nothing frightening or unsettling, just a peek into the history of the creator of the film. Next is Chapter 4.